Have you ever paused to notice how life's priorities shift as the years unfold? The things that once seemed vital, like keeping a wide circle of friends, begin to fade into the background, like leaves drifting from an autumn tree. What if I told you that after 70, you don't need a crowd of friends to live a rich, meaningful life? It might sound startling at first, but this isn't about loneliness. It's about stepping into a season of independence where your well-being becomes the heart of your story. In this journey, we'll uncover 6 powerful reasons why friendships may not hold the same weight in your later years. This is about discovering a life unshackled from social expectations, where your time, peace, and joy take center stage. It's not about closing doors, it's about opening your heart to a life that's truly yours. So, settle in and let's explore why letting go of the pressure to maintain friendships can transform the way you see yourself and your golden years. In your younger days, life often felt like a stage where you played a role to fit in, impressing colleagues, chasing invitations, or seeking approval from friends. But after 70, that script no longer applies. You've lived enough to know that your worth isn't tied to others' opinions. You've built a legacy, not with applause, but with the quiet strength of a life well lived. Consider Harold, a man in his early 70s who spent decades climbing the corporate ladder, surrounded by colleagues and acquaintances he called friends. When he retired, those ties unraveled like threads of an old sweater. At first, he chased those fading connections, but then he asked himself, why am I holding on to relationships that were never truly mine? Harold turned inward, rediscovering passions he'd long forgotten. Painting, gardening, the simple joy of a morning walk. Without the weight of social expectations, he found freedom. He no longer needed to prove himself. You too are at a stage where validation comes from within. You don't need a chorus of voices to affirm who you are. Your story is yours to write, and it's more powerful than ever when you stop seeking the approval of others. As the years deepen, something shifts within you. The clamor of social gatherings, once the heartbeat of a vibrant life, begins to feel like noise. In its place, you crave something richer, peace. Not just any peace, but the kind that wraps around you like a warm blanket, free from drama, obligations, or the exhaustion of keeping up with others. Margaret, 74, once filled her days with lunches, group calls, and holiday gatherings. Her calendar was a mosaic of social commitments, but over time, those moments felt hollow. The conversations grew repetitive, the complaints endless. One day she chose to step back. She said no to invitations that didn't spark joy and let go of the guilt of unanswered calls. In the quiet that followed, she found herself again, walking through nature, reading books she'd always meant to, savoring the stillness of her own company. Solitude wasn't lonely, it was liberating. This is your time to choose peace over pressure. You've earned the right to fill your days with what brings you calm, not chaos. If this resonates, let me know by commenting number 2 below. It's a sign you're here, reflecting on this journey with me. Fewer friends, fewer heartaches. Life teaches us hard truths. And one of the toughest is that not every friend is there for the long haul. By 70, you've likely felt the sting of friendships that drifted away or turned one-sided. Each unmet expectation, each unreturned call, carries a weight you no longer need to carry. William, now 78, learned this lesson over decades. He poured energy into friendships only to find some grew distant when he needed them most. At first their absence hurt, but then he realized, I don't need to chase what doesn't stay. By letting go of relationships that demanded more than they gave, William freed himself from disappointment. He focused on the connections that mattered, family, a few lifelong friends, and most importantly, himself. Fewer friendships don't just mean fewer obligations. They mean fewer heartaches. You're not isolating yourself, you're choosing quality over quantity, relationships that lift you up rather than weigh you down. It's about protecting your peace and writing a story where you're the hero, not the supporting character. Time is your most precious gift. As you cross the threshold of 70, time becomes a treasure more valuable than gold. In your youth, it felt endless. Hours spent on social calls, group outings, or keeping up appearances. But now, every moment is a gift, and you get to choose how to spend it. Richard, in his early 80s, once thrived on a bustling social life. Dinner parties, group trips, long phone calls, they were his world. But over time, those gatherings felt like chores, the conversations draining. One day, sitting through yet another lunch of small talk, he had an epiphany. This isn't how I want to live. He began saying no to obligations and yes to himself. He traded gossip for quiet mornings, complaints for new hobbies. The result, a life that felt fuller, not because it was busy, but because it was his. Ask yourself, is this friendship worth my time? Does it spark joy, or is it just habit? Your time is yours to shape. Spend it on what makes your heart sing. If this strikes a chord, drop number 4 in the comments to let me know you're with me. Society tells us that happiness lies in a crowd, that loneliness is a shadow to avoid. But after 70, you uncover a profound truth. The most enduring companionship is the one you build with yourself. You've spent decades growing, learning, and becoming. You know your heart better than anyone else ever could. Eleanor, 76, once believed a full social calendar equaled a full life. She planned outings, checked in on friends, and avoided solitude at all costs. But those efforts left her drained, adjusting herself to fit others' expectations. One day, she chose a new path. She treated herself like a cherished friend, taking long walks, savoring quiet evenings, reading in cozy cafes. In her own company, she found joy she hadn't known was possible. When you embrace your own companionship, you unlock a freedom most never find. You don't need others to fill your days. You are enough. And when you're at peace with yourself, the right people enter your life effortlessly, drawn to your authenticity. True companionship begins within, and it's a gift that grows richer with age. The most powerful choice you can make after 70 is to let go. Let go of friendships that feel like work. Let go of the notion that your worth lies in your social circle. Let go of the fear that being alone means being lonely. When you release these burdens, you create space for a life that's simpler, freer, and infinitely more fulfilling. James, in his late 70s, once thought a busy social life was the key to aging well. He clung to old friendships, even when they felt shallow. But one day he realized he was exhausted, not by life, but by the effort of holding on. So, he let go. He stopped forcing connections and started embracing what truly mattered. Time outdoors, learning new skills, savoring the quiet of his own thoughts. In letting go, he found a life that felt like his own again, light, joyful, and free. Letting go isn't about closing yourself off. It's about opening your heart to what truly fulfills you. It's about choosing mornings filled with possibility, hobbies that spark excitement, and peace that feels like home. Your happiness isn't tied to how many people surround you. It's rooted in how deeply you embrace the life you want to live. As we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect. This isn't about turning away from connection. It's about claiming the freedom to live on your terms. By letting go of friendships that no longer serve you, you make room for joy, peace, and a deeper connection with yourself. Which of these reasons stirred something in you? Have you already begun to savor your own company, or is this a new perspective to explore?